Welcome back to the gorgeous Tower Bridge that looms large over the River Thames. And we are in London for the centenary edition of the ITTF World Team Championships. And my, oh my, do we have a monumental matchup here for you in the men's event. Welcome inside the gorgeous OVO Arena Wembley, which is about to play host to the showdown, to the rematch for a spot in the semi-finals. Republic of Korea looking to prove that lightning can strike twice against the most dominant men's team on planet Earth, Team China, and it's gonna be a fun one. So we saw earlier on today the second seeds in the women's event, Team Japan looking superb, putting the sword to a Ukrainian team that fought as well as they could, but it wasn't enough. A 3-0 victory. I mentioned it, Team China up next against the Korea Republic. And then in the evening, if it wasn't enough, women's quarterfinals, the bronze medalists from Busan, France, will come up against Romania, and then a Hugo versus LeBron showdown in the evening. It's going to be beautiful. But the right here, right now, is what we care about. Wang Chuqin, Lionheart, the world #1, back in the lineup, and he walks out on court against the oh-so-impressive Oh Jung-sung, who landed 2 massive victories when these two met in the prelim rounds. And you'll see it match 2. Jang Woo-jin, fan favorite, absolute banger, forehands from everywhere, is on court against Lin Shidong. And then Lian Jin-kun, your senior statesman, will come up against An Jae-hyun, and then there will be 2 more matchups if we need them. So that's enough of my voice. Team Korea coming out into the epic arena here. Look at the stage, and I'm really excited to be in the broadcast, and there's cheeky grins all around as everyone sees their face on the big screen. Oh Jung-sung then absolutely stunning here in London so far. An Jae-hyun, the Maverick, so much fun. And it is the banger. Jang Woo-jin coming out. And look at the celebration. Avengers assemble. I love it. Smiles on the face of Team Korea Republic as they step out. But you know what time it is. It's time for the big dogs, for the most dominant team in men's table tennis. And Wembley responds. Jo Ji-hao out first. Not involved in this match, but just shows you the strength in depth this team has. Shang Peng, yet to see him on the stage here in London. Lian Jin-kun, always involved in epic rallies all round as he walks out. Lin Shidong, how much of the prep to this tournament has been about this man's form? And here he comes, world #1. The big dog enters the arena. Lionheart, no celebration, all business. They come striding down to the court. They know what they need to do. Lian Jin-kun just catching a little bit of celebrations on the arm there. Hopefully no damage done. I am so delighted to welcome alongside me in the broadcast, table tennis aficionado, Fraser Riley. Fraser, what are we about to see here?
I've got goosebumps, Joe. We ain't near Leicester Square, but are we about to get a taste of Chinatown? Could lightning strike twice? Team Korea, who nearly beat them in Busan in the semi-final 2 years ago, who beat them here in Stage 1A, and have left us here on a cliffhanger, take to the table against the defending champions. This is going to be sensational, Joe. The match for me, it could be the most exciting yet.
But you do not write off this team, Team China, coming through against England in the prelim stage, and then that crazy loss to Korea Republic. And we thought that's the first time in 26 years this team have lost. What happened when they next step out on court? They faced a team, Sweden, that also put them to the sword in unprecedented times here.
Crazy. I mean, they had their first loss in 26 years against this side, and then back-to-back defeats, Joe. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? They rested the big dog, the world #1 for that tie. They couldn't afford to risk him here. Wang Chuqin, world #1, steps out on court. These two have met 4 times before, and 75% of the time, the man on your left, Lionheart, comes out victorious. Oh Jun-sung, the younger of Team Korea, as we have a look at Ingrid Bogren, who's going to call the players over shortly to determine which player's going to serve first. Such a fascinating matchup, this. And here we go. It's the tap-tap coin toss to determine which player will serve first. And it's Wang Chuqin who wins the toss. And they come now for the lean-in racket reveal to get their weapons of choice, and then we will be underway with the warm-ups. As the Chinese crowd start to find their voices, it's going to be noisy in here. They know their boys are up against it. Let's have a look then, Fraser, as we start the warm-ups. What makes Wang Chuqin so damn special, so damn good, nearly unbeatable on his day?
He's always got an eye to kill. He's a predator, forehand orientated, classic Chinese silhouette. Backhand's as good and divisive as it needs to be. Beastly power on both wings. But for me, it's the fact that he has a steel trap of a mind. The last Chinese man standing at the World Cup from the round of 16, and he went on to win the whole thing.
18 career titles to his name, more gold than Fort Knox, and he is the one who is standing strong here in London when his team need him most. But an extremely exciting player up the other side of the court. Oh Jun-sung, talk to me. What are we looking at? What are we looking forward to here with him?
He is such a cool, calm and collected customer. The apple hasn't fallen from the tree because his dad, Oh Xiang-yun, was such a slinger of the ball. He had 2 monumental victories against Team China, beating Liang Jingkun and Lin Shidong.
Doing it in some serious style as well. When all the pressure was on, this youngster rose to the occasion to put away Liang Jingkun. And then he came out for more, didn't he, Fraser? Lin Shidong came out with everything. But Oh Jun-sung just proving too good, too clean in a 3-1 shocking victory.
And you just wonder how Lin Shidong's confidence is coming into this quarter-final. He had 2 losses against Team Sweden, was beaten by Elias Ranfer, the rank outsider, and Anton Schellberg in the deciding match. He barely has over a 50% win record, Lin Shidong, but we'll talk about him later.
A reminder then, this is a best-of-5 format. It is a race to 3 games first. Does that favour Wang Chuqin in this instance, do you feel? Or does it favour that man, Oh Jun-sung?
I mean, look, it's basically impossible to say, but the simple logic would make you think that it favours the underdog because they require less games to win, but look at that holy trinity.
Ooh. It's not a farmyard, but there are some goats in the building. Wang Chuqin, arguably the biggest forehand we've ever seen. Ma Long, the greatest of all time, and then Xu Xin as well, the showman, Superman, here to support their boys in this opening matchup. Tactically then, Fraser, what do you think we're going to see from Lionheart early here? Is he going to try and assert some of that dominance?
Oh, absolutely. That's his middle name, Joe. The most handcuffing serve-receive game in the world, Wang Chuqin. The fact that he's a lefty makes it even trickier to receive. But Oh Jun-sung is very diligent, very complete across both wings. Very balanced. We could be in for a tight one here.
Cannot wait to see where this takes us. It'll be Oh Jun-sung serving in game 1.
You give him an inch, and he'll take a mile, Wang Chuqin. That table awareness off that half long is frightening. Straight away. Just reminding us who he is and how he steps up to the mark. Gonna have to here.
Staying close, finding power already as the world #1. He's been on a remarkable journey because Probably the biggest moment of his career was Paris 2024 Olympics, where he just suffered a shock defeat to Charles Morgard and seemed to lose all that confidence, but back out the other side of it now, you feel.
Yeah.
In a much stronger place mentally.
When you're facing such difficulty, the only way out of it is through it. He's made it through the turbulence, Chu Chin. Oh Jun-sung beating him in that kind of period that he was struggling. Benjamin Faraji as well, Anton Schellberg beating him at that kind of time period. But yeah, back locked and loaded. I don't think anybody could have done what he did at the World Cup in Macau this year, Joe. Absolute scenes there as he won it for the first time in his life.
Yeah, that match against Sora Matsushima, one of the best of all time, you got to say. Tactically, early doors at least, it looks like Wang Chuqin trying to stay a little bit closer and Oh Jun-sung getting forced back.
And that makes sense. Oh Jun-sung has to give himself a little bit more time. Oh Jun-sung is very good close to the table, and I think he's actually better than Wang Chuqin off the table.
Wow. That's a statement and a half.
And I do think that playing high trajectory, heavy topspin into the backhand side of Wang Chuqin will prove to be fruitful for the young Korean.
The Wang Chuqin fans in full voice here. Some wanting to be on camera, some not. We are tied after the first 6 points here.
No flash, please.
Our first break in play for the
No
flash
flash.
photography. It's still going, I can see them in there. There we go, she's recognized it. Who wouldn't want a photo of this glorious arena in this glorious moment?
Such a privilege to be here with you, Joe. Here in London, where it all began. 100 years of the ITTF. Incredible.
And Oh Jun-sung takes an early lead. You see, he was looking to counter. He knows he's got to be aggressive. The Korean can't afford to just sit on the block, as this man is too powerful, too clean.
The placement into that crossover from Oh Jun-sung. He knows that it's rare Wang Chuqin plays two consecutive backhands. Chuqin's looking to get onto that forehand. The Koreans, technically speaking, I would say, right up there with the Chinese. Not too different in style and approach.
Oh Jun-sung has a 3-point advantage here in game one.
And there's the ball. Higher trajectory spin.
And why is that the route to victory, do you feel?
Because of the arc, it's harder for Wang Chuqin to identify how to meet the ball with the cracking forehand that he usually loves to play.
Left.
He likes the fast pace.
Yeah.
You've got to try and stall him, freeze him. Lots of rotation on the ball can do that, can skid away from him. But there's a fine line between going back and ending up in no man's land. Wang Chuqin having none of this.
So there's two serves to come from Lionheart here. There's another flash in the crowd.
No flash, please.
There's going to be a few breaks. It's going to be important for Oh Jun-sung to just manage these moments as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You mentioned about technically there not being a large gap between these two. Is the difference mainly mental then?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's a famous quote that I absolutely love, Joe. Acting you shall become. Wang Chuqin was acting like the best in the world even before he was. He's manifested this.
And it's an early fist pump from Lionheart. In game one, we don't often see that from him. He knows what this moment means.
from Mo.
Oh, the drop shot. Killed it dead without a heartbeat. Nowhere for Oh Jun-sung to go.
How dainty and delicate was that from Chu Chin? So sneaky from the world #1. A chef's kiss.
He's got so much more feeling than I feel like a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good thing to know, I think, that feeling isn't just about, you know, the chop blocks, the snake shots, the hooks, the around the nets. Being able to hit a really spinny ball hard takes feeling as well.
And the show comes out from Wang Chuqin. Perfect length on that receive. A second bounce just coming off the end of the table.
We might have to see something a bit more aggressive here from Oh. Yeah.
He pulled it.
Straight away.
What made you think that? Was he a little bit passive on the last one?
There's an element of point construction coming in, and I just felt like, okay, simplify it. Handcuff him in the serve. Go for a bit more venom on the third ball. He's got a high level of underlying power, Oh Jun-sung. You don't see it in the same way as Chu Chin, but it's there.
And it's another aggressive point from Oh Jun-sung.
Play, please.
Love that transition. That weight transfer through the forehand.
Technically so good. All of the Asian players are at this level.
Yeah, they lay down the blueprint.
But again, it's that half-long Fraser, that ball just drifting off. Wang Chuqin introducing a little element of doubt.
Him from under, a little scoop there from Chu Chin. Beautiful. How he plays through the fingers. Feathers it.
And we are tied again. 8 points all. And we've got raised eyebrows in the booth here, because that felt like that's normally Wang Chuqin's bread and butter, that Chiquita, right?
Just get a bit of deception on that serve.
But it shows you how keen the world #1 is to try and take the first attack.
Yeah.
Willing to concede ground, heading to his forehand side with the backhand.
Mm.
And this time we saw a few points where Oh Jun-sung was a little bit hesitant with the half-long. Wang Chuqin just full commitment on it.
Out the crossover, they're finding his opponent's crossover. Then the loop from Chu Chin. Keeping the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal.
And Zhou Jihao and Zhang Peng love what they saw on the bench, and it's now Lionheart with 2 serves to come.
To that serve. Jun-sung comes in to play that. Oh, nice. Keeping that weight forward just enough there with the backhand, Wang Chuqin.
And it's now game point to the world #1. What this would do to just settle any nerves in the Chinese camp. And he gets it done at the most pivotal moments, as we've seen time and time again, Fraser. Just so good when the chips are down, when it really matters most.
Played a beautiful game, the young Korean, but here's Wang Chuqin against Jang Woo-jin. Jang Woo-jin, Mr. Fahrenheit, got a win against Wang there. And he was absolutely jacked to his eyeball, so much so, he nearly collapsed when he got to the towel box.
Lee Sang-soo as well as the win of his life to put Korea 2-1 up over Ma Long. And it looked like the Koreans were heading towards the impossible, the improbable, and then Fan Zheng-dong turned it on to drag it to a decider. What they would do for a man of his powers here right now, Fraser. And then Lionheart came out in one of these moments that has built him to be the world #1.
The rally of the tournament was in that match right there, but Chu Jin with the finishing touch. Look at him there, looking a little bit younger, a little bit more raw. Now, you look at him, a grounded captain, the core of this team. You know, that was a Team China with Ma Long and Fan Zhendong. We've seen the turbulence. Can Wang Chuqin help Team China rise through this fog of doubt that currently clouds this team, which are going through a generational reset? And you look at that team, they're going to be a long-term concern for Team China.
Oh yeah, you can feel the tension in the room.
China to serve. Level.
I want to ask you a moment about the tactical talk that would have been happening in that Korean bench to try and level this at one a bit.
You can just see that Wang Chuqin is pinning Jun Sung down that backhand side. Not trying to be too much of a perfectionist in the serve receive, playing with lots of rotation, and that's stalling Jun Sung, who's having to try to overcompensate there and play a forehand from an unplayable position. I think most balls will see Chuqin play it into that backhand and occasionally bring out that parallel forehand.
A great shot of the plaster on the finger of Wang Chuqin. That was from a shot, a forehand earlier in the prelim rounds where he clipped the table with full commitment. Doesn't appear to be limiting him in any way at the moment. A tap of the head from Lionheart. So for Oh Jun-sung, what do you want to see from him here? You mentioned Wang Chuqin seems to be pinning the backhand.
Got to try and open the table for himself straight away and pin the backhand and the crossover of Wang Chuqin. Keep it away from that forehand.
Left. Long 2.
Seemed to wobble like Sabine Winter hit it with the ante,
didn't it?
Wow! And then uncorking the forehand after it. You could see the idea from Oh Jun-sung.
That's one of the rare occasions where Wang Chuqin knows he has to go full throttle, even though he's out of position. All cards on the table. And it just feels different now.
It's another big celebration as well, an audible shout from the world #1.
Wasn't the ideal receive by any stretch of the imagination, but he'll take it in a match like this.
You often actually see that, don't you? At all levels of table tennis, the celebration gets bigger when you feel like you've got away with one. You really want to hammer home the point to your opponent.
Bit of relief festering.
It's Wang Chuqin with a 4-point lead here. Oh. Forehands from everywhere. Lionheart is on the prowl here in London.
He's basking. It's a joke, isn't it? Again, Jun-sung playing a really strong point. Being as aggressive as he can be, but maybe he has to be a little bit more sneaky.
Sneaky how? What do you want to see from him?
Maybe a few more fades off the half-longs, maybe using peripheral a little bit better to spot openings, maybe trying to play it against the momentum of Wang Chuqin a bit more. If you see Chuqin shifting one way, take the ball a little bit later to give yourself time, then play it the other way. It's so difficult to do because you're under pressure even when the rally isn't happening.
And even on that time, he span up to the backhand, and Wang Chuqin just melted it with a punch off the bounce. And the backhand is starting to fly now as well. 7 points played in game 2, all 7 going the way of Team China's captain.
This is such an important match because I feel like in match 2 and 3, China are the underdogs. I think Zhang Wujin's going into match 2 as the favourite against Shadong. He beat him at the season opening champions Doha. Jae-hyun has battered Jin Kun before. So Wang Chuqin here doing exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, so a nod to the next matchups. It will be Lin Shidong versus Zhang Wujin, and then Lian Jingkun versus An Jae-hyun. Big matches keep coming here in London. And it's now 9 consecutive points for Wang Chuqin. He is sending a message here to the rest of the world, not just the Republic of Korea. To his own teammates as well, you gotta feel. 10 on the spin. World #1 for a reason. So, question, Fraser, will there be a mercy point?
I doubt it. Well, if he did that on purpose, he's a good actor, Wang Chuqin.
Looked to me like that could have been. And this time, it's the forehand that seals the deal. Wang Chuqin not getting paid by the minute here. He is looking to get this done quickly and set Team China on the march towards a semi-final place. He now leads Oh Jun-sung 2-0 in the opening game of this tie.
不应该说我一下看了他了，看后面就已经打得非常好，还是保持这样的这种专注啊，保持这样的这种态势啊，人在场上那种轻松。 牵着体坛再这么下四，有可能会搏杀你，所以把这个抢到，行，很好啊，好吧，
Wang Hao issuing the commands to the team captain, to the world #1.
I genuinely feel like Wang Hao and Wang Chuqin have the hardest jobs in table tennis right now. They've been put through the ringer over the course of the last, I'd even say more than 12 months.
A lot of the talk in the build-up to this event was around the strength and depth. The world felt like it knew how good Wang Chuqin is currently in this moment. It's about the rest of the team. Can they back up the world #1? A couple of points we've seen where if Oh Jun-sung can stop the world #1 attacking at first phase of the point, off the serve received, then he's got a little bit of a chance. But of course, that's easier said than done, trying to stop Wang Chuqin from attacking your serve.
Beautiful, there's that peripheral. There's the example of him playing it against Wang Chuqin's momentum.
So meaning he's going to spot Wang Chuqin step into his
There
right.
you go. Down that parallel. Such a key shot. If there's going to be 5 really important shots, that's one of them for Oh Jun-sung. I think the long push is really important as well.
Ends in the point out right there, right on cue.
Because realistically, there's so much spin on Wang Chuqin's opening topspin, and his drive, as we know, is bulletproof, unreturnable. So it's about trying to limit the quality of his opening spin and then being there ready to counter.
There's a little bit of finesse and a little bit of feeling from the Korean. Brad Oh-sung on the bench, liking what he sees.
Taking his time here. This is nice. Maybe he's taking a little bit of pressure off himself.
All eyes on the world #1.
One thing that I think about both of these young men is that they don't fear defeat. They've learned how to lose, and that's crucial if you want to become a champion. Janowy Waldner He's in that conversation as to the greatest of all time. Said that, and I think it's so true. Can't play with fear.
There's the long push again that you asked for. Yeah. And what's that? Is that to just avoid the short game, or is that to try and force Wang Chuqin into an opening attack?
Yeah, it's more forcing him to make a move. Wang Chuqin's looking for that half long, looking to get that forehand into. That's the perfect shot to shut it down. Wouldn't be surprised to see a long serve. Bit wider that time from Chuqin, wasn't long. Just something to keep him out of that push.
Took some pace off it as well on this opening forehand.
There's that quality. It's tacky DHS rubbers, man. It is so hard to counter that ball. To sponge it up.
Long push again.
6-3.
This is the way.
And it's earned Oh Jun-sung a 3-point advantage here.
And Daddy O is looking very, very happy there.
Ooh, what's it going to come down?
Wasn't far off, was it, Joe?
3-7.
Nearly hit the Titantron that's here in the OVO Arena, Wembley. That overhead shot will be money if the ball came anywhere near it. But look at this. Oh Jun-sung now has a 4-point advantage in this must-win game. Great look at that rubber, as you mentioned, the tacky forehand.
And what a response here after being absolutely battered in the last game. Just dismantled. Oh Jun-sung here looking likely to send this to 2-1 territory. Didn't get a word in edgeways in that last game. He was beaten so badly, I was worried about the injury. You can see his left ankle taped up a little bit, but no.
Just like a laser beam into the crossover of the Korean.
Yeah, you can see it there. He saw it coming just a little bit too predictable out. Played it into Wang Chuqin's waiting area. It doesn't matter how much quality is on the ball. The placement's not on point, you're in trouble. You just see how wide the base is of Chuqin. That's what helps him keep that center of gravity low.
Time a slightly shorter push. Wang Chuqin just sets the feet and rips it.
This is nerves here from Oh Jun-sung. He's a little bit nervous. Now he's got into a position that he knows, by his standards, he probably should take. He's putting pressure on himself. He feels like it's his game to lose. Good timeout from his father.
아니까 미리 이제 돌아선단 말이야. 한 번쯤은 백사이드 그냥 훅 찔러주든지 그거 아니면 짧게 백사이드로 조금 완전 가운데 말고 백사이드 짧게나 백사이드 길게나 한번 해주는 것도 괜찮고. 자 아니면 서비스 완전 일자 너클이나 하나 돌리라고 해놓고 그거 하나 승부한다든지 한번 네가 작전하되 뭐든지 임팩트는 적극적으로 하라고. 그리고 접히는 거 보면 팟사이드나 백사이드보단 미들로 한 개, 두 개 더 나가주면 괜찮고. 오케이? 리시브하고 지금 다 괜찮아. 얻어 맞는 거에 대해서 두려워하지 말고 네 잘하는 지구자 계속 가라고.
리시브 잘 하고 있으니까. 그러니까 제가 너가 너클 하면 내가 너클을 놓잖아 이렇게 한 번씩. 그거를 내가 건드려주고 하는 거야. 너가 이렇게 깔리게 건드리면 길잖아. 나가줄 거야. 네가 괜찮으면. 낮게 오면 그냥 그대로 막 결대로 길게 줘도 돼.
자, 길게 했을 때 화도 올라오는 거 가볍게 하나만 백사이드로 잡아줘도 돼. 오케이?
와, 충분해, 충분해.
What do you think, Fraser, would be the advice in the corner of the Koreans? You mentioned that you thought Oh might have been a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it looks a little bit, not half-hearted, but hesitant. You've got to commit on every shot. Every shot has to have full intent. The push that went out, too lukewarm, has to dig that. dig that out. If he is to play that long push, let's see what he does with this serve. Good recovery, and he plays it out to the right forehand, painting that table. Corner to corner, watch this. That's a really difficult shot to play there. Gotta stay low, gotta keep that head still. Balances himself nicely with the free arm.
And he's now 2 points away, Oh Jun-sung, from landing some damage. We can't afford to let anything drift over the end of that back line of the table.
I think there maybe a short receive now into middle or forehand could be a good option, but it depends on this Chuchin serve. Will it be short, half long? Will he go wider again out to that half long forehand? So clever. It's the pattern recognition. You gotta know what your opponent's looking for.
Get the spin on the ball. And then he was down low, just in case it came over, ready to crack the next one, the world #1. But he's got some work to do here. Has to win at least one of the next 2 points on the Oh Jun-sung serve. What powers of recovery from Lionheart.
Changed it up to the reverse pendulum, played a crafty flick, but look at that.
This is what he forces you to do. He forces you to raise your level time and time again. No one else in the world is getting that ball back. Not only did he get it back, he got it back with interest, with added spin, Wang Chuqin, and he's still alive here in this third game.
Oh, he was knocking on the door, he was breathing down his neck, but what about that for a play? Shout out to Kim Na-young, by the way. She nearly beat Sun Ying-sha yesterday, as we see Ju Se-hyuk up there, Joe. What a ledge.
One of the best defenders of all time. A former world championship finalist in the singles, cheering on his man. A rueful grin from Wang Chuqin. And he needs 2 big serves now to try and drag this to a deuce.
Excellent receive.
And Oh Jun-sung is on the board. His first game in this opener when he needed it most. What did you like about the receive, Fraser? You mentioned it specifically.
It was so neat, so tidy. You could hear his bat lightly making contact with the table, just exaggerating the effect of the backspin coming in. And then he backed it up in style. He's on the board. Oh Jun-sung playing so much better there.
그리고 지금 잘하는 게 네 잡히는 거 있잖아. 미들로 해주면 좋잖아. 줄 때 미들로 주는 거 많이 잘 돌잖아. 그럴 때는 백사이드 비디오 해주고 그러는 거 하나 하고 2개 연속한다 생각.
할 수 있어.
Really saw the benefit in that last game of a good timeout, Fraser. You said you felt Oh Jun-sung felt nervous. At a certain point, timeout called as we see Chuqin, Ma Long and Wang Liqin in the comfy seats in there, up close and personal.
Looking very dapper there, the crowd walker.
Always looks good, does the showman. But it's back to the Wang Chuqin serve here to kick us off in game 4. Like Wang Chuqin thought there was a long push coming.
This is what makes him so handcuffing for not just right-handers, everybody. He dominates that little diagonal there on the serve, and then he just is so outlandish with the third ball. You know, ultimately, it's such a simple approach, but it's so difficult to disrupt because he's mastered all the nuances within that realm. It's a good option there, just to touch it up to the short forehand. I still think the long push is going to be important, but he has to pick the perfect moment. Wang Chuqin knows as well that Oh Jun-sung's a strong flicker, so it can be a little bit of a bluff to drop it short.
Another tap of that forehead for the world number 1. Oh Jun-sung has a 2-point advantage here early in another must-win game. So much side spin on the ball.
Crazy. I think Chuqin's looked absolutely bulletproof. Shout out to the host, England, Sam Walker, managed to take a game off the world number 1, but apart from that, really, he hasn't looked close to being worried.
That was interesting because Wang Chuqin went to his normal service position and took 2 steps forward, served from middle here, and then tried to shoehorn in that forehand.
And he still beats him, Jun-sung, with the push. You can serve it from wherever you want. I'm still going to play it. I like that from the Korean.
This time, the world number 1 plants his feet and attacks with the backhand.
Excellent play. That chicken wing forehand from Wang Chuqin barely had any space. Arm way closer to the body than what it is normally. And he plays that iconic full stroke. Spinning a ball. A protective shot. Change the direction of play.
How on earth did he find that angle?
To return the net as well. Oh, Jun-sung with an absolute corker.
All the emotions on display sat directly behind Ma Long applauding that as well.
That's what I'm saying, he's so good away from the table as well.
He's got very good hands.
Just like his dad. I bet Wang Lichin's thinking about that match against his dad, Oh Sang-yun. There he is.
I'm going to show my age here, Fraser, but I had that one on VHS.
How cold is that, by the way? Wang Chuqin, should I say Wang Lichin and Ma Long with 6 world singles titles between them.
And this is the margins at this level. The ball flicking the top of the net and then bouncing back towards Oh Jun-sung. Wang Chuqin drags this within 1 point.
Keeps his lead with that slow spin. Well, it's not slow. That's a rubbish way to describe it from me there. It's not slow, but it's a bit higher trajectory. He's taking a step off.
And when he has been able to attack with force, Oh Jun-sung, into that crossover, the left-handed crossover of Wang Chuqin has earned him a few points here. He's got a 2-point advantage now with 2 serves of his own as well. How brave is that? Staring Lionheart in the eyes and saying, long serve and forehand bomber to follow. Looked like it might have just caught the back edge. Yeah, Oh Jun-sung apologized immediately for it.
Chuqin was looking at him as saying, you better apologize for this.
But Oh Jun-sung here, 7-4 up. Is the opener going to go to a decider here? It was around this moment that we saw a timeout called in the last game. Chuqin just unleashing attacking shots from here. Oh Jun-sung's got such good feeling. He's able to absorb these shots, but it's such a fine line between absorbing it and being a little bit too passive.
Yeah, what we saw in the point before, he played a worldie of a backhand, a screamer off the angle. That's not going to happen most times.
So we go back to the world number 1 serve here. Finds himself 5-7 down.
This is good from Mo. It's even better from Chuchin. How wide did they go? It was like a tango.
He got forced back by the hands of the world number one. And once he found himself at the back of the court, there was no way he was going to get back in.
Playing for positioning, the fade. And a clever change eventually from Wang Chuqin to play it down the line, softer, slower.
Look at the response. Wang Hao even playing the role of ball boy back there.
He called it, Joe.
And it's now a 1-point ball game.
If he had another timeout, he'd be using it, Oh Jun-sung.
It's a ripper of a backhand. Zhou Jihao roars towards Lionheart. And the GOAT applauds as well.
Adjustment that he made there and taking a step off to centralise himself allowed him to play that backhand block because Chuchin was trying to get it into his crossover. That is a clutch play from Oh Jun-sung, pulling that handbrake on Chuchin.
Best seat in the house for the leaning ball boys here. Humongous rally. The world number one was on 1 foot at one point in that.
These are the rallies that I did fancy Jun-sung's chances in. Because realistically speaking, he is more accustomed to having to play these trades than Chuchin, who wins so many rallies, well, not even a rally, points within 3 or 4 shots.
Oh Jun-sung is 2 points away from dragging this to a decider.
There it is, that loop into the backhand. He's trying to shut down the Wang Chuqin forehand. Wang Chuqin not so comfortable with that backhand block.
That one flicked off the net. But it's good feeling again from Oh Jun-sung, finding himself in no man's land, but somehow getting the ball back in. And the scoreboard needs updating because it is now 10-7. It's game 7. And we are heading to a decider. Oh Jun-sung back from 2-0 down against the world number one. And what happens now?
He's been undefeated here at the World Championships, Wang Chuqin. Is he about to be beaten by this man, Oh Jun-sung, who beat him at the Asian Championships a couple of years ago? To do it here at the World Championships is a whole different kettle of fish.
어려운 거는 그냥 주고 올라오는 기다렸다가 네가 나가줘도 돼. 그리고 한 번씩 서비스 완전 너클이나 막자 뺏어가지고 회전 넣잖아. 그냥 툭 넘기잖아. 일로 오는 거를 툭툭툭 계속 받아주면 쟤 계속 건다고.
不要干错啊，要走外头。加油！没关系，没关系。侧身这下的时候，有的时候感觉不舒服，按正点，哎，可以可以，啊，现在整体都非常非常好啊，来，胆大心细啊，一定要出去了，出去了啊！
Record in deciding games. World number one, more often than not, clutch when it matters most. But ignore everything heading in to this moment. This is now a race to 11 points. Interesting in the corner, Wang Chuqin can be seen doing this a lot, blowing on his hands. You often see that as a technique to try and center yourself, to be able to get feeling in your body again, to shut out the noise. Is he feeling the nerves? Finally?
Must be.
Listen to the grunts of Oh Jun-sung. The ball flicked the net, but he did so well to stay in the rally.
Based on what we know about recent meetings between Zhang Luqin and Lin Chidong and Jae-hyun and Liang Jin-kun, this is so important for the Chinese national team. Chu Jin has to come out trumps here. Oh.
Drop shot again. Team China on their feet. And the world number one showing that it's not just power he's got. To do that with the soft hands in this moment, Fraser, is so impressive.
The 23-time champion's under the cosh. That's why he was blowing on the fingers. That's why he's just trying to take himself out of his mind a little bit. Because that would be a stressful place to live right now if you're Wang Chuqin.
There's that long push again. Oh Jun-sung skipping the short game, firing it long, and being prepared to counter. And the temperature is rising here in the OVO Arena, Wembley.
Coming in like a missile. So aggressive from Chu Jin.
It was like a Uno reverse card.
Yeah, it was.
He did it exactly the same back to him.
Lovely delivery from Chu Jin there. Perfect.
This is a chess match at 1,000,000 miles an hour under the brightest lights. A roar from Lionheart. The backhand attack this time, spinning and arcing into the body of Oh Jun-sung. It's a Mount Rushmore of table tennis right there, isn't it?
It's a holy trinity. Well played from Wang Chuqin, keeping that weight forward, not stepping back and getting into those loop-to-loop exchanges that, to be honest, Oh Jun-sung was winning the vast majority of.
Staying a little bit closer, isn't he, Lionheart? Baring the teeth. And he's got a slender 2-point advantage here, the world number one. It was the long push, but the world number one grimaces as he drops the feet back and just uncorks a backhand.
He knows he can win from any position, Wang Chuqin. At the World Cup in Macau, he was 3-1, 9-6 down to Darko Jorgic. It would have been the first time since 1999 no man would have stood on the World Cup podium as a Chinese. So, he's clutch, we know that.
There's a great moment there, just in the turnaround where he was talking away to himself, but he went over to where Ma Long and Xu Xin and Wang Lichin are. Feeding off that energy of the greats from our game.
It is sensational.
Favouring placement in the early phase of this point was the world number one. He forced Oh Jun-sung back, and Oh Jun-sung slung a backhand counter here for good measure.
Left. No flash, please.
He's in his flow states.
What can Oh Jun-sung do here? Does he need to be a little bit more aggressive? Does he need to try and attack first? Or is he just getting melted by the world number one?
Don't think he's doing much wrong here. Something unpredictable.
It's a longer serve. Difficult to say from the behind the back angle.
To play a long serve off a high toss is very difficult.
Rueful smile from Wang Chuqin.
He's more aggressive here, Jun-sung. And he sings that song as he chose.
A reminder, the world number one does have a timeout. You may see it if he drops this next point. 2 crucial points from the Republic of Korea, and it is actually the timeout coming now early.
Good call, Joe.
Just felt the momentum starting to shift. We'll go into the corner and try and get a vibe check here from Team China.
其实可以，这会儿回来之后给他反手这一下有点速度，他一放慢再下手是吧？啊，这个落点，想好自己的发球啊，想好自己的发球啊，该上手要上手啊，这会儿就把自己的这种这个节奏情绪控制好啊，还是别人哪有耐心，不着急，有耐心啊，想好自己的发球啊，他这种路他真剁着你发球，你看后面蹬的那个特别好，他一拉他中间顶着他一反而往前站一站，他一防你这下我再想再拉一下，好吧？这会儿哎别搅碎。 啊，可以，非常好，啊，就是把这个节奏稍微控制，特别好啊，慢慢来，慢慢来，还是一波不着急，坚定，坚信自己，啊，坚信自己力量，啊，打到最后算是非常好的整体节奏，啊，就是想好自己发球接发球，后面板一板那种连续和前进就可以，啊，很好，很好，啊！
Calmer approach from Wang Hao. Shout out to our production team, translating it there, saying about be careful of your serve, be careful of your tempo, be mindful of it, control the flow of this matchup.
Yeah, the tempo, so important, the most important thing I think.
Do you think it means slow it down or speed it up or do a mixture of both?
Gauge it,
Yeah.
dictate it, be it.
Well, he's got 2 serves to come up here. 2 crucial points you've got to feel in this decider. Wang Chuqin is on serve. And it's a big one. A huge point. Look at what it means to Wang Hao. The half long. There was barely a sniff of the table there. And Wang Chuqin just took it.
Oh, gorgeous.
Stunning. Under this amount of pressure. And he's restored that 4-point lead. And it's now or never. You've got to feel for Oh Jun-sung. Another tap of the temple for Lionheart. Knows he has to be tactically adept here.
Even from this position, it's difficult to say what's going to happen. Wang Chuqin, we saw more dominant indeciders. Jun-sung here with another serve. What a receive.
The power on it.
He's just not making his serve unpredictable enough anymore. You can't give any indication with the form motion or he will lunge and leap in.
It was a gorgeous Chiquita and it takes Wang Chuqin within 2 points here.
There's the deception, came across it. Swipes across the side of the ball with the faded forehands. Beautiful. Got to be creative against Wang Chuqin.
Oh Jun-sung had stepped across, committed to playing the backhand, and then played a defensive shot off it.
He's just won 2 points, so points being won on receive at the moment.
Oh my, you said he was being a little too predictable on serve. What do you want to see from him here?
Just something that can confuse Chuqin. Don't leave any clues.
It's again that half long. The world number one.
He's hoping for something loose off that forehand touch, but he's not getting it.
Staggering. From Wang Chuqin, and look what it means. He is a point away here. World #1 for a reason. Stood firm when his team needed him most. From 2 up to then getting dragged into a decider, and credit has to go to Oh Jun-sung for forcing it that far. But Wang Chuqin, Lionheart, roars into a 1-0 lead for Team China here.
But what a comeback it was from Oh Jun-sung. Clawed it back from 2 games to love down. The top of the tempo. Lionheart, Hope, doing exactly what the doctor ordered there, getting China off to a 1-0 lead. He didn't feature in Stage 1A when China were beaten by the Republic of Korea. He was never going to say no to this. They need him. They believe in him.
And look at the response from historically the most dominant team in men's table tennis. And the applause from Wang Liqin, from Ma Long, from Xu Xin. Their man got it done. But now it's Wang Chuqin, Lionheart, who needs to hand the baton over to the former world #1, Lin Shidong, the man with the most question marks about his game, his confidence levels when he steps onto court here in London. And what a challenge it is. Korean banger, Jung Woo-jin is up next. This is going to be an absolute firefight. And will it be Team China going 2-0 up here, or will Jang Woo-jin bring Republic of Korea right back into this? It's up next. Welcome back inside the OVO Arena, Wembley, where Wang Chuqin survives a scare but proves to the world why he's the world #1, vanquishing Oh Jun-sung 3-2. And up next, it's a big one. The Tata coin toss to decide who will serve first. Will it be Lin Shidong or will it be Jang Woo-jin?
Black or red? Red for you, black for you. Red, receive.
So Lin Shidong wins the toss and decides to receive first. It's time for the Li Ning racket reveal. Both of these players playing with extremely quick setups here. They love to attack the ball. And we'll get the warm-ups underway shortly. A tail of the table. You can see incredibly 2-1 favoring Jang Woo-jin. We'll talk about their last matchup because it only happened back in January. You can see Lin Shidong, currently ranked world #6, former world #1 though, was so good in that spell at 2025, but has shown a little bit of a lack of confidence. I am delighted to say I'm joined in the booth by former England international Maria Sapsanos. Maria, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we saw what Team Korea could do in that last game. We've seen them beat them earlier in this competition. It's all to play for. Lin Shidong, you know, his confidence, could it be knocked here? Could Jang Woo-jin get the better of it? You know, these Koreans are coming in with no pressure at all.
Yeah, Jang Woo-jin is going to bring that heavy forehand style as we have a look at Team China's second man in the team, still only just 21 years of age, but really the most question marks were about how he could handle the pressure, and he's already suffered losses here in London. What do you want to see, Maria? If you're in Team China, from Lin Shidong, who might be struggling with confidence, what do you want to see from him early here?
Well, obviously we said that they've suffered those losses, but to be the best, you have to keep that mental composure. Yes, they've had 2 losses earlier in that seeding stage, but right now that doesn't matter for Team China. What matters is they're after that gold medal. They're always after that gold medal. And so Lin Shidong really needs to forget what has happened before, and he needs to come into this match with a clear head. And he just needs to fight, and he just needs to, you know, we talk about Jang Woo-jin's powerful forehand attack game, stepping around that corner, really excellent footwork using the whole table. Lin Shidong is quick, he's rapid. Can he dominate over the top of the table to stop that happening? And can he keep his head as Jang Woo-jin comes out fighting?
So it's perfectly poised here. A huge matchup. A reminder, a place in the semi-final up for grabs. It'll be Jang Woo-jin on the serve in game 1. And it's an early forehand and an early celebration from Lin Shidong.
We've been seeing a lot more expression from the Chinese team. And that's that forehand we were talking about, that step around to the backhand side. Lethal when he gets it right, and lethal parallel down that line there.
And that's twice now. Lin Shidong in this early phase has targeted the wide forehand of Jang Woo-jin. Do you think that's because he's so strong on the pivot? Stepping to his left. Jang Woo-jin, that is.
Lin Shidong is definitely going to want to not allow Jang Woo-jin to step around that corner. And as you said, pushing him out wide forehand, that is one way of stopping that happening. But also those long, fast sticks. And what an exchange between the pair here. A lap by Lin Shidong. You don't see that often, him running around the court with his hand in the air. He is pumped, he is ready. And that wide forehand, yet again, being exploited.
That was shades of Wonrei Bo out here with the celebration. But you've got to be happy with how this has started if you're in Team China's camp. Again, what we've seen from Lin Shidong here early in London throughout the preliminary rounds, and it was just a little bit passive. He was struggling to go first, but then also was getting caught, not countering. Here it seems he's a lot more aggressive.
And that is perfection. It is tough to do a reloop like that. It is tough, even tougher against a Jang Woo-jin forehand like that. We saw him win Jang Woo-jin one of the earlier points straight off the bounce. Lin Shidong just reading that and taking him out wide forehand. Lightning happening on this table.
Oh, and there's the backhand from the former world #1 that caused so much damage in that run to the top of the mountain that hasn't been there regularly enough in the last few months.
And again, that backhand side, so quick off the reflex from the long serve, picking it up, pushing on. Such good posture when he plays that.
7-3.
And Jang Woo-jin keeps it within a 4-point ball game here.
proving dominant at the moment for Lin Shidong. He is staying close, he is waiting perfectly and executing it.
Just how hard is that shot?
The amount of spin and rotation that Jang Woo-jin is getting on that ball, it's hard to block, let alone hard to counterspin over the top of the table. And I am so impressed by Lin Shidong coming out in this first game here. From this attitude and from how he's behaving on the court right now, you wouldn't have thought that he would have had those losses earlier on.
Yeah, he is coming out, the trap's firing. And it's 7 game points here in this opener.
There is no stopping him when he's getting shots like that on the table. He is picking them off. Counter looping on fire. Jang Woo-jin really lifting that, crafting it from beneath the table. But Lin Shidong is there, and he's got the coach's approval. Let's listen in.
车上这种拐都是这种正常这种速度，车上这种掉的反手耗不了再一个真发到反手的时候，这个这么一摆或反手一摆。
Time.
Players coming out then for game 2. Lin Shidong just so impressive. So aggressive. Looking to attack first when the opportunities came, looking to counter. It's a completely different mindset from him.
Level.
Fair play to him because everyone in the table tennis world has been battering him in the build-up to this week. And this guy is firing.
He's being ever so consistent on that forehand opener. And he's sticking with the celebration. He's sticking with being pumped up like that. Doesn't want to let anything slide. And it's the momentum with the Chinese player now. And then this is where you might start to see cracks appearing from Jang Woo-jin. He's not getting a rhythm. He's not winning those points.
Yeah, he's got to prove that he's... capable of not being an all-or-nothing player. When he's not able to attack first or when he's under pressure, he's got to be able to hold.
And Shidong so solid over the top of the table right now. Nothing getting past him.
Honestly, he deserves so much credit. Because everyone's rhetoric was, why is this guy still in the team? Discrediting his run as the world #1, saying that people hadn't worked him out yet. And here he is, standing up under the biggest pressure, and he is flying.
Flying around that court, indeed.
Joji Hao on his feet. And the rest of the world has got to be terrified seeing this, because this is the Lin Shidong of old. 5 points played here in game 2, all 5 go in the way of Team China. Until that one. Korean always dangerous with that forehand. What are the kind of tactical tweaks you probably want to see from Jang Woo-jin?
I think he's really got to not let Lin Shidong get that counter spin, whether that's changing the spin on the ball, changing the pace, maybe the ball coming a little bit shallower. But right now, it seems like putty for Lin Shidong. It seems like his bread and butter, the balls that are coming from the other side of the table.
Left. 1-6.
So much intent from Lin Shidong. Even then, stepping across to his right to look to attack it if it was there.
we've spoken about how mistakes then start to appear. Jang Woo-jin wouldn't usually miss something like that, but when there's a 6-1 deficit to, you know, it does start playing in your mind. You've got to go for riskier shots.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Good for you, Lin Shidong. As much as I want to be unbiased and see an absolute battle here, you can't help but praise him. A reminder, these two met in January. Jang Woo-jin won it 4-2 at Champions Doha semi-final. And look at the intentions from him.
I'm loving the energy from the Chinese team here. They know they've got a battle on their hands and they are ready to fight, and they're going for it, the whole bench on their feet.
2-9.
Lin Shidong is 2 away. Jang Woo-jin has got to find a way to halt the momentum, to somehow stop this runaway train in Lin Shidong, going 2-0 up in games. And that's not a bad way to start. 2 points off your serve.
That serve just dipped a little bit earlier than Lin Shidong anticipated. But Lin Shidong with the serve now. Can he keep on this winning streak and take game 2?
Interesting, just looking up into that top row of seats, Ma Long no longer in place. I wonder where he's gone. Maybe a toilet break, maybe a quick conversation with Wang Chuqing. But Jang Woo-jin has won the 3 last points here. I wonder if we see a few more. Could there be a timeout called? The shovel serve.
5.
Just a bit of hesitation. We haven't seen too much of that from Lin Shidong.
And is this the first wobble?
A lovely reverse serve there.
Do we see a time?
Jang Woo-jin, yes.
We do.
We do.
You could feel it. The hall has suddenly got a little quieter. Let's head into the corners. Wang Hao has been very calm with Lin Shidong this week. I wonder if we'll see the same here.
看你打这个侧路球，就是全是自己回打输，对吧？人家都没和你这么打，这个就是要稳啊，想好这种发球，包括上手这个。但是我想到的，他现在没什么办法，就是靠一会儿东一个西一个，完了靠这个图片，完了之后靠节奏不断让你减几个位数，完了你这种人不站不住以后，完了他再给你一下，正好来去还是按心定啊。你想好这种其他都是如果想你这个啊，那个正常你说啊发球这种，我还是想是发成选手表这种去赢起来上手，还是说发这种他发侧球，他也有可能会过来拧你一下，把你一靠他之后还躲2个人。 要发钩子也可以，就是这么想，啊，想怎么接这球，我觉得也没问题，想到了就接，关键吧，他们想好自己发球发球，还是因为还是想好自己的过程，打得也非常好，这个头脑清醒。
哎，正常出手啊，别卡。
Onto court. Jang Woo-jin on the serve. 5 of the last 8 going the way of Korea Republic's Jang Woo-jin. Has the air come out? I gave Lin Shidong so much praise. He's got to stand strong now.
And we do feel the tension rising. And you get a runaway points like that, and someone's starting to claw their way back in. Let's see what Lin Shidong can do on his serve.
78% serve win. And that's huge.
A roar of emotion from Lin Shidong there. He knows just how crucial that was, setting himself up for game points instead of narrowing the gap to just a 1-point lead.
It's a flick of the net.
8.
And Jang Woo-jin will have 2 serves of his own to try and take this to a deuce game. What's changed in this? Because Lin Shidong was almost in cruise control.
Lin Shidong, he was in cruise control, and then Jang Woo-jin has started to mix it around a little bit. Slightly different receives.
Oh my goodness.
And now there's tension in the wrist, in the arm of Lin Shidong. He doesn't look so free-flowing in his shots. And this is crucial.
Jang Woo-jin with the forehand.
And we did not expect to see this comeback on the cards. Lin Shidong was flying out there, was cruising around the court.
7 of the last 8. What a swing in momentum here for Korea Republic. Lin Shidong coming good when he needed to there. It was a backhand spin up that earned him the point.
See how much he's bent down with that right leg. Flick of the wrist, lifting it over.
And it's a second chance at this game. And it's a huge point.
And I was about to scream, and what a way to win the game, but he's not there yet, Lin Shidong. Jang Woo-jin just holding him out there on that epic away from the table rally.
Feels like any time you allow Jang Woo-jin to uncork forehands, it's dangerous. And we are back to the Lin Shidong serve.
A bit of fortune, a bit of luck, but the crowd, as you can hear, do not care about that. They want to see this man, Lin Shidong, take this game.
And this is a few times where we've seen Lin Shidong not going wide forehand early, and I wonder if he'll do that here. He's got game point again. And it's a huge forehand. Settles the nerves. And Lin Shidong, boy oh boy did he need that.
Felt like a scare for Team China there. But Lin Shidong coming through in the end, keeping his nerve. Look at those emotions.
So it's Lin Shidong who is 2-0 up on Jang Woo-jin, but it got a whole lot more interesting halfway through game 2.
我该下手下手，你看了吧？你只要想到了，其实一样，被他猜到就猜到了。他这种你拧完之后，无非就是侧身猜那俩，完之后自己没较量发球嘛，那没事儿。再包括实力期的时候说，你掉了。
So a look at the top 10 players in the world. You can see the class that's on the table. Lin Shidong at number 6 has been as high as world number 1. Jang Woo-jin also inside the top 10 at number 9. But look who sits atop the mountain. Almost double the amounts of points of everyone else. Wang Chu-chin, a reminder, we will see him later on if needed in game 4. But there's a lot more business to do before that point. Who will feel the better of after game 2, do you think?
I think you have to say Lin Shidong. I know Jang Woo-jin had that fight back. He got so close to taking that second game. But being 2-0 up in a tie as crucial as this has to do something for your mental state.
It's a flick of the net.
2.
You do feel there, though, that Lin Shidong's backhand counterspin didn't have as much gusto. He wasn't using so much of his body. It felt a little bit softer, a little bit more returnable for Jang Woo-jin.
Do you think, is that a little sign of nerves or confidence?
Maybe nerves. He was leading so much, and then Jang Woo-jin fought back.
doesn't seem like there's the same snap on his shots that we saw early, and particularly in game 2 and then game 1, of course, as well. There's the snap.
That is the snap we are looking for. Using the whole of his body to really pump into that shot. So hard to return when shots like that go on, and so quick. He's back cheering again, back with the arm up. And back with that step around backhand. Really needs to utilize his strength that we were talking about, that backhand side. A lovely soft flick out there by Jang Woo-jin.
So accustomed to seeing bludgeoning power, but this time it was a little bit of soft feeling.
And they're not easy to do. You've got to open up the whole of your body, open up your wrist. You lose a lot of the feeling when your head's further away from your wrist.
But that shovel serve coming good for Lin Shidong.
Let. 3-4.
And that step around forehand, you're smiling over there, Joe.
It's like watching a baseball home run. It's just full commitment, full body, and just unleashes. Both of these players must break so many balls in the training hall. Just cracking them in half. We saw brilliant powers of recovery in game number 1. A reminder, Oh Jung-sung found himself 2-0 down to the world number 1, Wang Chuqin, and managed to drag it back. And are we seeing shades of that here from Jang Woo-jin?
He started to use that reverse serve to the backhand side of Lin Shidong. It worked the first time around. He just clipped off the edge of the table, but this time the edge of the net was clipped by Lin Shidong. A snap and a flick of the wrist for Lin Shidong. The power looks to be back.
If you're Jang Woo-jin, is that the one place you don't want to put that ball?
If you're Jang Woo-jin, you're taking a timeout here. If the placement is nice for Lin Shidong, he is lethal with that backhand.
빵 나오니까 그거 줄 때 약간 좀 미들어 주거나 아니면 하나 승부해? 올라가서 한다든지 한 번만 승부 한번 해보자. 아니면 하고 가서 어차피 한 백사이드로 오는 거니까 그거 하나씩 기다려주고. 자, 그 다음에 갔을 때 서비스잖아. 서비스 갔을 때 내가 지금 이렇게 놓고 작전도 안 괜찮은 것 같아. 대신 하나 걱정인데 얘가 늦춰가지고 화로 짧게 났을 때 그거 네가 늦춘 상태에서 짧게 놓으면 또 떠날 수 있는 상황이 생기니까 흘러나가는 건 상관없어. 그거 하나 생각. 아니면 짧게 왔을 때 백사이드 하나 몰아주고 하는 건 네가 본다든지. 어찌됐든 백에서는 박자 하나 맞춰줘야 된다. 지금 괜찮고 잘 맞고 있고 한쪽이씩은 견뎌줘야 쟤도 부담스러운 부분이 있으니까. 오케이? 리시브 하나 어떻게 할 건가? 승부 하나 해. 믿고 가자고. 오케이? 자.
The crowd gets a little noisier, players back out onto court. Leah, what do you think the main topic of conversation would have been in that Korean corner?
He's still got the lead. He's still got a bit of momentum. That forehand is working for him. He's just got to look to get it in. Oh, that's tough. That's tough against Lin Shidong. Me and you both speechless out here. What a backhand. Full stroke, full body. And he deserves to celebrate that one.
Yeah, for Lin Shidong, it's important to stay aggressive here. Can't afford to go passive against someone as good as Jang Woo-jin.
Points like that might also become crucial as we near the second half of this game.
Noticeably massive reactions from Wang Hao on the bench. It's not just applause. Wow. Just wow. It was a blur on the screen. This is him at his best.
You can't give that placement to Lin Shidong and not expect him to take advantage. 6 of the last 8 points going his way.
And this was what we were not seeing from Lin Shidong early here in London in the prelim rounds. He was very passive on the backhand. There's another huge celebration from Wang Hao. He wasn't ripping through the back of the ball. He wasn't trying to break bones with his backhands. And now he is.
Just little touch there by Jang Woo-jin, bringing Lin Shidong closer to the table. A lot of backspin generated on those as well. They don't often sit up for players to attack. And a real stretch there by Lin Shidong. Jang Woo-jin managing to find that angle, and we are still in it. There is only 1 point now between them. And this game's been a little bit more topsy-turvy, momentum shift.
Reverse long serve again from Jang Woo-jin. But Lin Shidong was waiting.
He was waiting to hit that backhand, and he sets himself up with 2 match points. What mental resilience from the Chinese player.
It's Lin Shidong with 2 humongous match points here. And look at the venom that he put through that to silence the critics.
And that was a big sigh of relief as he looked up into the crowd. You know how much that meant to him. He wanted to get that over and done with. He wants his name on that sheet for Team China, and he wants to cement his place in that first team.
So impressive from Lin Shidong. The whole world was questioning whether his bottle had gone, whether he had the confidence, whether he had the nerves, whether he even had the game to rise to the highest points of our sport. But what an aggressive match from Lin Shidong. If he couldn't get in first, he was going to counter.
And it has to go to Jang Woo-jin as well, who did put up an excellent fight. He did come out in that 3rd game fighting. He didn't let the second narrow loss get to him. But Lin Shidong prevailing.
World class from Lin Shidong. And he's just put the world on notice with a huge display as China's number 2, and it earns a smile from Wang Hao. I'd love to see a heart rate monitor on that guy throughout the matches. So Wang Chuqin came out with a huge victory over Eun Song, and then Lin Shidong. It doesn't really tell the tale because he went 1-0 and cruising in game 2 before Jang Woo-jin posed a comeback, but Lin Shidong settling the nerves. Lian Jin-kun up next then, the showman, the fan favorite against the Korea Republic Maverick with so much feeling, with so much creativity. An Jae-hyun, does Lian Jin-kun get it done, or will we see Wang Chuqin again? It's next.
here we are inside where the action is going down. It's the men's team's quarterfinal with Team China, the most dominant team in the history of the sport, hands down, looking sharp as ever. It's Team China versus Team Korea Republic, and it's time for the Tata coin toss. Lots to talk about here.
Black or red? Red? You are black. Red? Receive. This side.
So An Jae-hyun wins the coin toss, and the racket cases by Li Ning are here. Back from racket control, Liang Jing-Quinn there has been an interesting point of conversation. An Jae-hyun since the World Championships in 2019, just the same. Tail of the table, they're head-to-head, 1-1. This is a must-win for Team Korea Republic. An Jae-hyun on his way up in the world. Liang Jing-Quinn, well, can't say the same at the moment. He's been as high as world number 2 compared to a player who's been as high as world rank number 13. But this week has not been an easy week for Liang Jing-Quinn, and it makes things very interesting to watch. I'm Adam Bobrow. Alongside me, Fraser Riley. Welcome back, Fraser.
Thank you very much, Adam. Can't wait to get into this match number 3 here. A must-win match for the Korea Republic men.
Indeed it is. A 29-year-old with 9 career titles to his name. Not so many other players playing 29 years old for the Chinese national team. Had a chance to chat with Xu Xin for quite a while earlier today. And Ma Long and him both here. Obviously, Ma Long an anomaly playing as long as he did. I mentioned Ho Ying Chow as well, and Xu Xin said, well, that guy, I mean, science can't explain him. Liang Jing-Quinn talked about his waist injury, and someone said, no, it's just age. Age is getting to him. This is no country for old men. For the Chinese national team, he might be the Tommy Lee Jones of the team right now. He's an incredibly strong player, but the reason he's here and the reason they're not trying out Shang Peng and others is because experience and mentality matters so much. Talk to me about this 26-year-old An Jae-hyun.
He's a real trickster, someone who can think outside the box, the Korean. Bronze medalist at the 2019 World Table Tennis Championships. He actually beat Jang Woo-jin in the quarterfinal. He is so creative, so powerful, Jang Woo-jin, and he can take on seemingly low percentage shots very consistently.
Yeah, this is a guy who loves to put the ball back on the table, loves to put the play in the game. Speaking of games and playing, they're going to play best of 5, meaning first player to win 3 games wins the match. If it's Liang Jing-Quinn, China moves on to the semifinals. Here's what they're playing on with. And there is a lot of pride. After all, 100 years, this has been the biggest event in any given year for sport. Wang Hao, at least table tennis. Shang Peng on his right, camera left. Zhou Qihao next to him.
First game, China to serve, love all.
So here we go, Liang Jing-Quinn starting it off best of 5 with the serves, love all. Looking very comfortable and steady on that backhand block.
I'd say both of these guys forehand orientated. You usually see An Jae-hyun pivot a bit more frequently.
Funny, you mentioned his power, An Jae-hyun. That wasn't always the case. A lot of people struggle in one area of the game and then put in some extra work and it pays off. He hit the weights hard. But it's not just the weights, it's timing, it's learning how to use the body, and this is something that Liang Jing-Quinn knows well. He's a boxy guy with a big frame, but he covers the court very well.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's so hard to break him down. Even when he's not fully in position, he's able to brace it back onto the table.
Left. 1, 2.
Played table tennis. The timing, Liang Jing-Quinn slows it down a little bit, and An Jae-hyun ready for the heat, was there a step before the ball. Watch this in replay.
Incredible. That wide base of Liang, how low he is, just about making space to play that out of his crossover. You often see him exaggerating it and getting the racket so horizontal after he makes contact with it.
I think something, if we zoom out a little bit, that's important to think about is Liang Jing-Quinn has really had a tough week. The standards that he's set and the Chinese national team has for him and anyone are incredibly high. But if you end well, all is well. This could be a big redemption story for him in this event. A win here, 3-0 over a team that beat them just a few days ago.
Yeah, that would be a reality check that would just be a reminder to everybody here that even though they had a rocky road in stage 1A, they still are the favorites. They still are the best in the business. And we just saw it from Lin Shidong.
Athleticism on the forehand before, but it finds the edge of the racket. The kicking topspin fishing shot from An Jae-hyun.
This is what I love about all the Korean players. They're so aggressive, yet they're so comfortable at the back of the table. Good fishers, good lobbers, deep top spinny. Tough to get over for Liang Jin-kun.
In terms of pressure, two teams have beaten Team China in this event already, which is why the whole world is talking and wondering about what the outcome will be. One of those teams was eliminated last night, Team Sweden. The only other team that beat them is standing across the table right now with 1 foot in hot water. In all fairness, just to remind you, the Korean team, despite Oh Jun-sung putting on quite a fight against Wang Chuqin, looking as nervous as I've seen him in some time, again, all is well that ends well for anyone. Team Korea down 0-2 in the team tie. It's a must-win back against the ropes. The only way they could win this for Team Korea Republic would mean we'd be here about an hour and a half from now on the edge of our seats. Lin Shidong really coming back strongly to get his revenge.
Such an important win for the man they call Little Stone there. He was at a 50% win record, lost 2 to Sweden, obviously lost his match to Oh Jun-sung when Korea beat them in stage 1A. So China here looking locked and loaded. It's a different matter altogether here when it's a quarter-final.
Nice wrap around on this one. Side spin with that top spin to make it curve. Oh, it's a flower on the shirt. I didn't notice that. I like the way he turns that. Sometimes just mixing it up, throwing a bit of side spin into the ingredients, mixing it up nicely. Leaves a funky kick, some aftertaste. Blocking game, covering the elbow. 2 uncomfortable shots here on Jae-hyun. Now looking at the face and the body language of Wang Hao, you can feel the pressure. Again, knowing the story of this week, it is a tough job. It is a tough seat to be in. An honor. That said, it is high pressure. What do you make of this change right now in momentum, Fraser?
Yeah, it's incredible. An Jae-hyun's ability to brace with the backhand. Look at the extension there. Wouldn't be uncommon or unusual to see a timeout from Liang in this position.
3 in a row now for An Jae-hyun. Serves back on his side. Soft hands. A big man with the touch. Liang Jin-kun. This is part of the game at this level. You can be one of the most explosive players in the world, but you've got to have that touch, the caress.
That was so neat, so tidy. Delicately done from the big man. And there you see the dynamism with the backhand. And the Chinese fans going wild here in the OVO Arena. 4 game points to Liang Jin-kun.
A bit more aggressive in this rally. 1 soft block for placement, and after that he turns it on. Tactically, there's going to be a lot going on throughout this match, which could go by in the blink of an eye. And he Slows it down again, a more shallow shot to get it under the blade of his opponent, Liang Jingquin, making many a fan and the flag behind them quite happy. Team China, 1959, they would produce their first world champion in any sport, and that sport was table tennis, and since then, they would never look back.
打手相持的时候，他这是有一板抽的，尤其退下去或者在这个出身体，他有板防着而下，在这个地方他给你中间好。
Second game, Korea Republic to serve, love all.
An Jae-hyun back at the table. Liang Jingquin with the modest mustache. Its scoreline less modest as he took the first game and the first point here in the second as well. What are you thinking, Fraser?
It's a statement start there from Liang Jingquin. An Jae-hyun won their last meeting in straight games at the Asian Championships. All of their meetings have come in team events.
So this is a familiar stage for the both.
That's right. So a few backhand-to-backhand trades in that first game, battling for positioning, both of them trying to subtly go into that crossover section. Just think we saw a little bit more variation from the backhand of Liang.
Adaptability, a big name of the game here. Your ability to adjust when something different comes in. The change of pace, there are just so many different factors to consider. And the net here helping out Liang Jingquin.
I think both of them have incredible feeling. I'm always impressed by the touch play of Liang Jingquin. That was really chopped in half, but it wasn't quick enough to prevent this crafty Korean.
Finds the wide part here. The deepest corner of the table with sided topspin to send An Jae-hyun on a chase to reach that forehand.
Incredible here, Liang Jingquin. Yeah, he's on his A game.
Can't bring anything less at this point in time. Bit of freedom here with the backhand. I expected to see a little bit more aggressive play from An Jae-hyun. From time to time, he'll play it soft, but I feel like the longer he lets the rally go, the more advantage Liang Jingquin has. And that's not a question of stamina necessarily, but simply positioning at the table. And Liang Jingquin, it's like riding a bike. He knows how to save time and space to stay close.
He does. I think the forehand of An Jae-hyun packs a surprising level of power, but across the two wings, Liang Jingquin seems to be a bit more balanced. Like I said at the start, he doesn't pivot quite as regularly as An. Doesn't want to.
Balance is the key word in that entire sentence there. It's so important to know how to recover efficiency, to keep your balance. But a nice combination here, shorter to the forehand to bring Liang Jingquin in and send him right back. Oh Jin-sung there, coming incredibly close with the world #1 Wang Chuqin in the opening match.
And there's the aggression from An Jae-hyun, making it a guessing game, keeping Liang Jingquin humble on receive, and he backs it up with a four-stroke backhand.
Again, a flash of light even in the replay. The speed, the wrist action. Big second serve here, looking to tie it up. Extra spin, investing that racket speed in rotation rather than forward motion.
Beautiful dwell from Liang on both of those balls. Gripping the ball, shutting down An Jae-hyun's power play.
From behind the table, able to overpower, at least make it uncomfortable with that kicking spin shot.
Tough way to win a point. I do agree with what you said, Adam. The longer the rally goes on, the more I'd usually favor Liang, but good protective play there from An Jae-hyun, looping it deep.
You can hear him putting in the work. It might take a little bit extra, but he'll do what it takes at this point in time.
The muscle. He's built like a prop forward, Liang Jin-kun, in rugby, but look at him go there. I think the fact that he can't penetrate quite as powerfully as Wang Qiqin means that you often see him locked in longer points, longer rallies. But how many times have we seen him in trouble? How many times have we seen him in a decider? Clutch up. I'll never forget that match as well against Hugo Calderano in Houston.
Right. World champs 2021. Getting low on this one, the legs. Again, these are the muscles that you can tell someone's level of table tennis, at least generally speaking. That ball came in low to the net. He was still able to aggressively counter. Look at the face of Zhou Qihao, that reaction. That's what that shot meant.
Yeah, An Jae-hyun not having the best success rate right now on serve. Wise to his trick there, Liang Jin-kun. Clenches his fist. Can he win this game now on serve? 9-5.
The crossover, the seatbelt shot, and he sets up 5 game points to put China 1 game away from a spot in the semifinals over a team that beat them in the group stages. Oh, recovery, catches the edge, no TTR. That is clear to both players that this shot is good. Wingspan, reaction time, anticipation, and experience is the name of the game. Liang Jin-kun. Interesting. A little surprising that there wasn't a try. If An Jae-hyun calls it right now, he still has one unsuccessful challenge, even if he's wrong. Wang Hao with Liang Jin-kun. So back in 2010 on the women's side is quite a story, not for Team China, but for Team Singapore. But on the men's side, Ma Lin against Timo Boll. Man, have they had some matches over the years. And look at this. Lu Guo Liang in, Xu Xin there. The crowd, as always, where Team China goes. The fans as well. Man, what a victory here. Ma Long as well in the house. Xu Xin. Hey, look, Oh Sang-un in the background. Wang Hao, the whole gang's here. Look like Zhang Jike maybe behind Wang Hao.
Just saw Oh Sang-yin as well, there down on the podium next to them.
Exactly. Did you hear me call that out?
I didn't.
It's okay.
Many big names.
Yeah, he's on the bench right now for Team Korea, coaching his son out there in the first match. Well, Liang Jin-kun, 1 game away from sending China through to the semis. So what does An Jae-hyun have to do to help his cause?
I think he has to try to get Liang Jin-kun a little bit wider into the backhand. Ideally right off the serve. I don't think that long serving is a bad option, but he has to try to get the forehand in wherever possible. He's not beating Liang backhand to backhand at the minute. He's getting sucked in too close to the table.
So, you saw Qin Zhijian, and there's Ma Long, the greatest of all time by just about every standard you can measure. Xu Xin was next to him, Wang Liqin in the background, Yu Sung-min, the last non-Chinese men's singles gold medalist at the Olympic Games.
2004, baby.
What a year. Fastest feet we've ever seen. And a timeout now is a must.
Timeout.
Indeed. Oh Sang-un, who you saw on the podium in 2010, right back here, talking to An Jae-hyun.
범실하고 이런 거에 너무 크게 의미 두지 말고 무슨 말인지 알겠지? 침착하게 짜난치고 하나하나 작전만 어떻게 할 건지만 생각해. 계속 어찌됐든 니한테 그냥 꾸역꾸역 넘겨줄 거란 말이야. 거기서 네가 이렇게 얘기했잖아. 연결해도 괜찮은데 해보자고. 해보고 찬스가 왔을 때 네가 작전들 해서 미스하는 건 어쩔 수 없는 거지. 무슨 말인지 알겠지? 자 서비스도 하나 뭐 역회전 넣고 가본다든지 아니면 그냥 단순하게 딱 일장을 놓고 이렇게 가본다든지. 쟤 무조건 네 백사이드만 살짝 돌리고 이렇게 시합한다고. 오케이? 자.
하다가 그냥 지금 좀 편하게 풀어도 돼. 근데 얘가 미드를 치는 거 하나 치겠다가 너가 쳐다가 너가 먼저 미드를 몰았다가 코너로 몰아도
Look at the fans who've been through quite a lot today. A significant percentage of the fans in the stadium are rooting for Team China. Interestingly enough, Stéphane Lebrun, father of Alexis and Felix, cheering incredibly loudly for Team Korea. Not that surprising, though. You can understand why. And in case you're newer to the sport, Team China might be in the men's team anyway, might be in the most turbulent year they've had in quite some time, at least at the World Championships, the World Team Championships. That said, they are still the strongest team. But on top of this one, smothering speed, not letting that ball come up at all, suffocating there from An Jae-hyun as he pivots.
Right idea from the to go to the same place twice, but look at this. The famous Korean footwork. He pushes it back, unusual stuff from An Jae-hyun, but maybe that's going to be the recipe for success. Just being a bit crafty inside the table. And then bringing in the power a little bit later. Really take the An Jae-hyun by surprise. It did really feel, for me, Adam, as though if China don't lose this time, they never will. It's been that turbulent, that testing.
Quite an exchange here. I think that's well said, Fraser. It has never felt, in recent history at least, such an open field. Chengdu 2022, Japan had a lot of people changing pants. That said, there's probably a better way to say that, but the point is, they've overcome some very difficult challenges. Second time, you've seen some chops. It was Oh Jun-sung earlier who played a chop, and Wang Chuqin had the most incredible success with drop shots. What, 3 for 3 winning points dropping?
Yeah, I think he's really worked on that.
Just about everything in his life, I think he's really worked on. He wasn't born with it.
Left.
Come a long way.
Ball.
He's had his share of turbulence as well. Again, it's not falling down. It's coming back up. It's the resilience. Timo knows it. Ma Long knows it. And An Jae-hyun knows it. When he qualified, the silver medalist at the World Champs in 2019, he was ranked number 10 inside the Korean team. And he would come out number 1 of all Korean players at that event, with 5 selected to be there. Ooh, a little dribbler. Hope Steven likes that. Good times, Scottish table tennis in the house, and a 2-point lead for An Jae-hyun with a bit of fortune in that fine touch game.
He's not rushing, he's not attacking for the sake of it, An. You know, the best attackers in the world, they know when to resist.
I think this is just high IQ play. Doing anything for the sake of it, you could probably do better at this point in your career.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, if something feels flickable, doesn't always mean like you should flick it.
Yes, this is completely true. I think context matters. Knowing who the opponent is, where the opponent is, what the opponent might be thinking or feeling. Are they nervous? Are they confident? What are they expecting?
Nice reverse, and what a follow-up from An Jae-hyun. Some stunning shot making. Bending that ball wide over the An Jae-hyun forehand.
and burned. A little bit of black stain there for the crisp, tender crunch Liang Jingquan knows well. Think about the reaction time it takes. Peripheral vision, knowledge and awareness. Zhou Qihao and Lin Shidong calling that one out as brilliant.
Ultimate hype men. Ooh, Penang with a slower spin shot. Keeps his lead. Been identical, hasn't it? Every single one of the matches that we've seen has started with a 2-0 lead to the Chinese.
So Yang Haoon there, Kim Na-young, Shin Yu-bin, Koreans cheering on and watching. Again, the leader of the cheers for Team Korea. Oh man, we can talk all we want about who's cheering for whom right now, but with the ball whizzing back and forth that fast, we've got jaws dropped. Nothing will center you and make you present like a rally like this.
Oh, that is just so humbling. It's a brutal sport, table tennis. You can play a perfect point and lose. You can sometimes play a bad point and win.
Seen it time and time again. That said, I think very few points at this point would qualify as anything less than world-class. 1-point ball game here. And still a 1-point lead for An Jae-hyun, who's already pulled his timeout. The forehand side, Liang Jingquan so clever to recognize how far An Jae-hyun had to run to chase down that ball so that he could play it and get a backhand out of him. Wow, He Xiao, Wang Liqin, and Ma Long, everybody from the Chinese camp up on their feet after this rally.
Oh, incredible point right there, and An Jae-hyun looking like an English gentleman on that last shot. Like he was proposing to it. That was a tough ask. And again, the Chinese up in arms. What a point.
Service success. An Jae-hyun, 20% the lower, only 33% success. Last two-serve combination of this game, potentially this tie.
Oh.
Big man's got agility to cover the middle on a few of these balls, but An Jae-hyun right back sets up a game point.
Some matrix movement from Liang Jingquan.
He knows Kung Fu. And guess what? There is no spoon. But there is a game point for An Jae-hyun on his second serve. Modified reverse pendulum there as he comes around the outside of the ball. Let's serve. We'll get another chance.
No way.
Oh, this is crazy. If you could even see the ball in that rally, it disappeared with the speed. Liang Jingquan not only reacted, but was right on top of it to create the opening on the table.
I am just lost for words. How the hell has he played that out of his crossover?
What coverage and the placement. It comes right down on the white of the line, and the next one straight back behind, and it is deuce. Yep, you don't see Wang Hao blushing too often. My goodness, you talked about an English proposal earlier. Wow, and on the other side of that coin, this is what stress looks like. Quick backhand, barely any backswing, and the power he generates. What are you thinking, Fraser?
It's just fantastic resilience from Man, because it would be completely understandable if it felt like it's just not going to be his country's day after that last point from Liang. But look at that reset, 10-all here. He wins the point, and now he could wrap this up.
Liang Jingquin isn't making it easy, but one thing I can say to throw credit, I don't like to stereotype, but if it's positive, the Korean players have a fighting spirit that is simply never give up. Yeah, you might have match point against you. We've seen greater comebacks, especially from Team Korea over the years. An Jae-hyun in this alternating serve battle, back at deuce. And he slows down the spin. Thought it would have been effective. Liang Jingquin had other plans and sets up a match point in this.
An Jae-hyun's playing smart. He's trying to play it against the momentum of his opponent, but Liang knows exactly when to stop himself. It helps him keep positioning for the next shot.
And a tight serve, heavy underspin on the pendulum to the shorter forehand side of the table. Fighting that spirit here. And at the fourth towel break of the game, there is no Chiquita. Banana denied. A little mini timeout for the players here. An Jae-hyun taking extra time on that Jack Nicholson. Forehead. It's a compliment, by the way. Crazy point. From this angle, you can't even imagine, but you can really start to feel what it's like to be on the table. That he gets these back?
Man, that was rolling back the years to Sung Min. That footwork, chasing forehands from everywhere.
Quads flexing, backhands from below the table. That deep to the forehand shot, Chole indeed. And it sets up another game point for An Jae-hyun. Such a tough ball when you're under the table, shallow, low to the net, spinny. That means the ball's going to be low when it gets to your opponent and very tough to counter.
We have seen An blast those, that viral shot against Calderano at the Worlds last year, but he couldn't make it that time. The sweeper, so difficult to play, like you said, Adam.
13 points apiece, fourth deuce. Now that was almost the second time we've seen that tomahawk chop block come back on the table. But it is team tie points once again for Liang Jingquin. Yep, use the noggin. And he does it! Liang Jingquin completely redeems himself. Can't stop, won't stop. Team China has defeated and eliminated the second team that got the best of them. It's not to say that there are no worries, so far from, but Team Korea Republic, following in the footsteps of Team Sweden, playing incredible table tennis, but here, finding themselves tourists in England after Liang Jingquin, Lin Shidong, and Wang Chuqin all delivered the goods here today in straight matches. And in the case of Liang Jingquin and Lin Shidong, straight games.
Finding success against Team China in table tennis is like finding a needle in a haystack. The Korean men were able to do it in stage 1A. But here in stage 2, the knockouts in this men's team quarterfinal, that might have been red rag to a bull, because Team China came equipped, came prepared, came with the fighting spirit, and Wang Hao must be so proud of his boys.
You can see it there. Man, the tears are back there. They're right behind those eyes. Hugs are waiting, but as the pressure rises, emotions do too. It has been a packed house in here for the most decorated team in table tennis history, Team China, and that shaking fist has turned into a high five for someone who's essentially a father figure to many of these players, and Liang Jingquin just the same. The Chinese men's team gets their revenge. Wow, 3-0, a bagel over Korea Republic, making sure that there is no repeat. Again, not mistakes, opportunities to learn. We'll have a chance to hear from the veteran, the big brother of the team, Liang Jingquin, down on court with their very own Jora Taijak.
Congratulations, Liang Jingquin, on an epic 3-0 victory over a very competitive Republic of Korea. What do you think the team did especially well today to secure you a spot in the semi-finals?
恭喜梁靖昆3-0拿下了这场比赛。面对竞争力如此强的韩国队，在哪些方面做得尤其到位，最终成功锁定4强席位？
首先我觉得其实我们在每一场比赛，虽然是看似是3-0赢了，可能在每场比赛的这种比分上，可能都非常的焦灼。所以说，我觉得我们整个团队的到了这种淘汰赛的凝聚力非常强，所以说我们才有这种战斗力吧。
It might seem as though every match, or a lot of matches, we've won 3-0, but actually behind the points are very tough fights. So I think after going into the knockout rounds, our team as a whole, we stay very united, and that's how we were able to do it.
Well, speaking of tough fights, you are now into the semi-final. How will that matchup under massive pressure help you prepare for the semis?
那么半决赛呢就在眼前，压力也会随之增加。那么今天这场胜利呢，将如何保证一个好的调整来准备半决赛？
我觉得我们不想别的，就是打好每一分球，结果自然会好。
I think we won't be thinking too much about win or loss. We just focus on our tactics and get every point.
Well, Gongxi, Liang Jingquin, fantastic. Team China are into the semi-finals here in London.
恭喜。
Emotions run high throughout the stadium. Liang Jingquin coming back in a major way. Team China, you can question their decisions all you want, but there's a reason that Team China has dominated the sport of table tennis for decades and decades now, over a better half of a century, and they're still on top of the world. This is why stadiums are packed with Chinese fans. It is the pride of China, table tennis. It has put China on the map internationally for decades and decades, and China now awaits Brazil and France, which should be very interesting with some of the young talent coming up in Brazil. Team France, incredibly strong. We've got the Chinese Taipei team, and Japan already in the top half of the draw in the semifinals. Can't wait to watch that after the Chinese Taipei team beat Sweden last night. Lots to talk about there. So, what do you have the rest of the day after we saw Japan with a bagel over Team Ukraine and China over Korea Republic in the men's side with just the same result? Team France and Team Romania, the women, will battle at 5 o'clock local time, PM that is. And the men's team quarterfinals with Brazil and France at 7:30 p.m. local time right here from where table tennis was born, London, England. So we look forward to having you back for the second session at 5 p.m. local time. And until then, get yourself hydrated and ready for the World Champs.